Recently, our friends over at Oddworld Inhabitants gave us the lowdown on the next Oddworld adventure. It's called Munch's Oddysee for the Xbox. I am here with Lorne Lanning, co-founder and president of Oddworld Inhabitants. Now, Lorne, Munch's Oddysee. Tell us about the whole storyline.
When I conceived this stuff years ago, it was thought of as though it was just one massive epic. You know, Abe launched in the epic of Oddworld, and Munch is the second key character that takes this closer to its finale. He's the last survivor of his species. They've been hunted for things like gabiar, for skin for boots, for purses, for, you know, he wound up being the lucky sort of sturgeon crossbred with an alligator, crossbred with a whale, you know, and there's lots of great stuff to be made from his kind. We start off with a character where we're seeing him in his natural environment and watching him descend into the arrogant world of the others where there's absolutely no compassion, there's absolutely no empathy. And this is where we begin. And so what we find through Munch's Oddysee is that he meets another character who's been through a very similar sort of experience, and that's Abe from Abe's Oddysee. And as we know, Abe was the meat processing slave factory worker. Munch and Abe together use Abe's possession powers to raise a fortune. And they're going to use that fortune to buy back the last can of gabiar.
These are clay models?
Clay sculptures, yes.
Take me through the process.
They serve several purposes. Once we have a design that's been approved by Lorne, we bring him to the sculpting stage because you further refine the design in clay. You see the character from all angles. And one of the other things also, we further refine the anatomy and the musculature and the structure, because we try to base our characters on existing anatomy in order to make our characters feel more alive and more believable by the audience. The second main reason why we sculpt our characters is because then we can laser scan these figures in. Well, laser scanning technology has gotten better and better, so it means we can get our sculptures smaller, put more detail in them, and they can still pick up all this fine work. And we get a very accurate model.
So we talk about the Xbox being the best platform to tell this story in. Yeah. What things are you doing here that are going to wow people?
Just navigating the character through the world, he's not getting stuck. He's not hitting doorway edges. You have total control, but it's just really fast and really smooth. That's one aspect. Controls will feel different. How you see it will feel different because of the camera system. It takes it to a new level for an action-adventure class type of game.
How many different departments make up the whole process of this thing?
Well, to get from, Lorne's scrawled napkin at a restaurant,
Right.
to this point where we're at right now, takes about 45 production people is where we're at, and about 60 total, so we have 15 support staff as well. We've got guys who do storyboards, who do production design, that design all of our great characters. We have guys that do animation, both modeling for our movies and modeling for the actual game. We have programmers, of course, who build everything so that we can make a game in the first place. We have our game designers who actually write the AI and build the levels.
One of the things I think people will really be impressed by is the way the AI behaves and the quantity of characters that start coming at you, that you start manipulating, that you start dealing with. You're cruising around with lots of characters at different times. And you're using them as weapons too. You're like, get him, jump his butt. So they're like 5 guys go over and start beating up a slig. So you start getting things that we used to see and feel in games like RTS games, where I could tell my 12 guys to go over here and have it out with those 12 guys. And you're hitting a couple different buttons and giving them game speed commands, and then you're watching large numbers of characters go at it, And that chemistry hasn't happened before. And I think, people's minds are really going to be blown when they start to feel and see and experience that in a way that they haven't had before.